What's in a name? Introduction. In this book, we are going to study names. We will use the names of the third grade class to find out where names come from. Your last name is your family name. Your first name is your given name. It's called given name because your parents give it to you. Often, your parents will pick two names for you, a first name and middle name. You have your name at all your life. However, many women change their family name when they marry. They take the family name of their husband. Their children have this family name as their last name. This is Tommy Tompkins. There are 24 other children in Tommy's class. 12 are boys and 12 are girls. Every morning at school, Mrs. Zimmerman, the teacher, calls out the names of the children. The children shout present after they hear their names. She starts with the boys' names, then she continues with the girls' names. Daniel Armstrong, Robert Figueroa, Andrew Fisher, Grant, John Halifax. Family names. Your family name has probably been in your family for hundreds of years. At one time, many years ago, people had only one name, a given name. At that time, there were very few names for parents to choose from. People lived in small villages where everyone knew each other. Over the years, the population increased, villages grew larger, towns were formed. In the towns and villages, many people had the same name, and it started to get confusing. In one village, there may have been 8 men called John. The villagers had to add words to the different John's names to understand which John they were talking about. Some of the Johns were known by adding their father's name. Others were known by where they lived. Others were known by the job they did. Still others were known by some person feature. In the Middle Ages, the rulers of many countries wanted to know who everyone was in their country. They wanted to make sure everyone was paying taxes, so they needed to count everyone. These rulers didn't want to get mixed up with 8 different Johns, 9 different Henrys, and 10 different Williams in one village, so they passed the laws that said everyone had to have the last name. In our example, village with the 8 Johns, John David's son became John David's son. John Jack's son became John Jackson. John from the lake became John Lake. John from the hill became John Hill. John the carpenter became John Carpenter, and John the gardener became John Gardener. John the short became John Short. John with the white hair became John White. Our last names are usually based on one of the 4 groups: father's name, place where they lived, job or trade, persons, a prayer, appearance. Let's look at all the children in Tommy's class from page 7 and divide their names into the 4 groups. Father. Fitz means son of and came from France. Fitzgerald meant son of Gerald. Johnson started off as Johnson and Jackson as Jackson. Mark is MC means son of and occur in Scottish and Irish names. MacDonald meant son of Donald. O means son of and is used in Irish names. O'Brien meant son O'Brien. Kins at the end of the name form a nickname meaning Little Tompkins meant Little Tom or Little Tom Little One. As at the end of a name meant son of in Spanish. Lodge Gage meant son of Roderick. Place. Figueroa means where the fig trees grow in Spanish. Roberta. Figueroa's ancestors came from a place where fig trees grew in Spain. Garcia is the name of a place in Spain, so George's ancestors came from this town. Yamamura is Japanese. Yama means mountain and Mura means village. David's ancestors came from a village in the mountains of Japan. Job. The ancestors of the children in the class with job names were bakers, clerks, fishermen, gardeners, goldsmiths, and tailors. Scott. Major means shoemaker in German. So Brittany had an ancestor who made shoes. Jason Freeman's ancestors were slaves. They were captured in Africa and brought against their will to America to work in the fields. When slavery was abolished, they were able to choose their own names, as most didn't know what their African names were. They chose American names. Many picked the names of their former masters. Some, like Jason's ancestors, wanted to show they had become free, so they chose the name Freeman. Some of the jobs that people did in the Middle Ages, when customers for started no longer exist. The names, however, still live on. Some of these are Cooper. A cooper made wooden barrels. Hooper made hoops for barrels. Archer, a bow and bowman. Archers and bowmen were soldiers who used a bow and arrows. Fletcher, a fletcher made arrows. Carter made or drove carts. Wheeler made wheels for the carts. Tanner worked with leather. Description: the first ancestor of Daniel Armstrong with the last name was known as an strong man. Chinese and means old, so the first person to have a last name in Kim's family was old. Some people have animal names and last names. This usually means that their ancestor acted like the animal in some ways. Jonah Fox's ancestor was probably cunning, like a fox. Longfellow was a tall person and white hair. changing names. Sometimes family names were changed for different reasons. Many of the people going to America from Europe had difficult names to pronounce and spell. To make things less difficult, so they changed their names. Sometimes people arrived in the country and an official would change their name for them. This was because the official couldn't understand them and he asked them their name, or he couldn't spell it properly.